and the NBA was announced that the Players Association and the league have agreed to retire the late Bill Russell, who just died a couple of weeks ago, and his number will be retired for all teams across the NBA. The first time that that's happened, a la Jackie Robinson. And, on the surface, I'm not going to bash it. The guy was a great man. He walked the walk and talked the talk. I mean, he really was for civil rights. He played in a very hostile situation, Allen, in Boston, and still was able to win 11 championships in 13 years. But I do have a bone to pick with the NBA.
Uh-oh.
I really do. Why now? and Allen, this is what he was 88. He was around long enough to enjoy this. Why are you waiting until he passes? Nothing changed in the last 2 weeks. He's been a great man his whole adult life. Why now? Why would you wait?
You know that old expression, you don't miss me till I'm gone.
Right. Am I wrong on this? Jackie Robinson died early, prematurely. Bill Russell lived to the ripe old age of 88. I've been to plenty of NBA events over the last 20 years that he was around.
Listen, I'm a little bit older than you. I got the opportunity. I remember watching Bill Russell play against Wilt Chamberlain and watching those games and watching Sam Jones run up and down the court. The man was a legend, and not only because of what you talked about he accomplished on the court, but the amount of stuff that he had to deal with off the court. It wasn't easy playing in Boston back in the day for him, and to do what he did and to accomplish what he did, and an ambassador of the sport. He's one of those guys that even players to this day, I know Chris Paul even has still addressed him as Mr. Russell. He just commanded respect, and he did it in such a wonderful, polite, gracious way that even if Bill Russell got on your case as a modern-day player, you had to accept it and respect it from where he was coming from. But, yeah, this is something that if you wanted to do that, you needed to honor the man while he was alive and say, hey, we're going to retire your number. Let's have a ceremony. Let's let everybody appreciate this moment going forward.
Can I give you when they should have done it?
Go ahead.
Was when he got the Presidential Medal of Honor in 2010.
Exactly.
12 years ago.
Exactly.
For his basketball excellence and unwavering commitment to social justice. Why now?
Well, I guess in 12 years, Rob, he became a better player.
That's exactly, or he did more for civil rights.
Right,
like
right.
For real. And we're not making a joke of this, but Alan, this is the stuff that drives me crazy. And you're right. We do this too often.
I can't stand it even when it happens in baseball, where a guy is destined for the Hall of Fame. Why wait? Sometimes you wait till the guy is passed, and then all of a sudden he's put into the Hall of Fame, and his family is then there, and they're like, well, this is a great honor, but you should have did this when he was still alive.
And especially for a man who lived to be 88. I mean, that's to me is what bothers me the most. I mean, baseball did it for Jackie Robinson, and Jackie Robinson changed this country, Allen, as we know it. I mean, when he took the field in 1947, that's 20-some-odd years before the civil rights, and what Jackie Robinson had to go to, and what that meant for black people, to play Major League Baseball, and what he had to endure was incredible. It really was. But Jackie Robinson, if I remember correctly, and I need to, I think he died at 57, right?
I believe that's correct. Yeah, it was like you said, it was way younger than it should have.
Right, and probably the stress and pressure.
Oh, without a doubt.
Of everything that when he died in 1972, and what is that, 1919 to 1972.
Don't do math now, Rob. Come on.
Yeah, I can't do math. Yeah. I'm a journalist. I can't do math. Can somebody, Bo, can you do that?
Only when your paycheck comes can you do math.
Yeah, that's the only time I really know it. But yeah, I just, it bothers me. It just does. It's like a knee-jerk reaction. It's not authentic. You shouldn't have to wait for the guy to die to recognize that he was a great man and worthy of this honor. And that's what it comes up. And I'm not going to knock it. more power to the NBA. Bill Russell, I'm all behind that.
Yeah, it's sort of a reflection of life, too, Rob, because so many times I think that it's one of those situations where even in life, people say, you better make up to the people that you've cared about in your life or talk to them or make amends because you never know how much time you have. And before you know it, it's gone and it's too late. And I think the NBA may have sat around and thought about this idea for a long time, but I think probably they never anticipated, oh, he's gone? We should have, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Yeah, you should have done it while you were thinking about it, and you're correct about that. It should have happened long ago.
Jackie Robinson died at 53.
Yeah.
Bill Russell lived to be 88. You couldn't find any, and by the time he retired, you couldn't find any time in those years,
right,
to honor the man. Right. I'm flabbergasted by it.
What's that? 11 championships too?
Yes, yeah. 35 years longer than Jackie Robinson. He lived.
Crazy, absolutely crazy, and there's no question of his impact on the game. And he stood out as being. It's funny when he passed away. I went back and. Of course, everything's on YouTube. And if you want to educate yourself, not only on just how bright of a mind this guy was and just what a fun guy he was to be around, there are some interviews on YouTube that you can go look up of Bill Russell sitting down and having conversations with Will Chamberlain. And the two of them together is absolutely hilarious. They talk about each other's game. They talk about playing against each other. They talk about what was going on in society. I mean, it's almost must-see go on the internet to watch this stuff, to watch those two converse, and just to listen to their intelligence is just absolutely special.
No doubt about it. And if you haven't, go to YouTube. You should find all kinds of videos and interviews and the impact this man had and boycotting all-star games and stuff when black players couldn't stay in the same hotels. I mean, he talked it, but he walked it.
Yes,
Alan, and everybody's not like that. And he was a big star. And even when they had a retirement ceremony for him in Boston, he didn't even want the fans there to share in that because of the treatment that he got. And his daughter wrote a piece in the New York Times about how they vandalized his home and spray painted things and broke trophies and all kinds of plaques that he had and defecated in his bed. I mean, just some sick I And this man was classy and dignified. And I'm happy they're going to honor him. But, man, I hope that other leagues and people take a look at this and say, dude, if you have somebody of that ilk, if you felt this strongly about Bill Russell, right, to do the ultimate, only Jackie Robinson has his number retired throughout a league. Only one guy.
Yeah,
if you thought he was on par with Jackie Robinson, Major League Baseball did that 20 years ago or whatever it was, and honor him with a Jackie Robinson Day all around baseball where everybody wears 42. They've been doing this for 15 years.
Right. He came to, when I was anchoring in Detroit, he came on our morning show, and I got to interview him, and I just felt like I was in royalty. Because he was just so gracious and so nice, and he was very complimentary of me and my station in life, and talked about how far we'd come in that sense, and it was just a delight to talk to. Mind was totally sharp, totally bright, quick sense wit, quick sense of humor, just a great guy. But to shake his hand and to be in his presence in the studio and to interview him, I was in heaven at that particular point in time.
Oh, yeah. He was a giant amongst men, and not just his height. He really was. And, I'm a little bothered by it, I got to admit, because this happens too often in life. And I don't know why people keep doing this and not acknowledging people. The young people, Alan, nowadays, you know what they say? To give somebody their flowers while they're alive. Like, right? You don't want to be throwing it on somebody's casket.
Right.
If you love somebody or somebody's made an impact in your life, tell them.
That's right. You never know.
Don't tell them at their funeral. Tell them.
Right.
Give them flowers.
Be the bigger person and say something now. You'll thank yourself later for having that moment.
There's no doubt about it. All right, we're talking about Bill Russell, his number being retired throughout the NBA and the Players Association have agreed to this. Number 6 will not be worn by anyone. I'm assuming there's a grandfather clause that if you have 6, you can wear it until you retire, because LeBron wears number 6.
That is absolutely correct. They have announced that if you've already got 6, you can wear it till you're retired or get fired. One of the two, get cut, something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You could do that. And for Jackie Robinson, it was a ceremony before the April 15th, 1997 game between the Dodgers and the Mets at Shea Stadium. That's when then Commissioner Bud Selig declared that number 42, Robinson's number with the Brooklyn Dodgers, would be permanently retired throughout Major League Baseball. So think about that, 1997, which is roughly, 25 years ago, baseball did it. 25 years ago. So the NBA could have followed suit, and in the last 25 years, I say when he got the Freedom Medal, the Presidential Medal of Freedom back in 2012, that would have been a great time to do it as well. But we want to hear from you. Is this too late? Or is it okay no matter what the timing is?
Yes, indeed. Let's hear from Greg in Virginia Beach. You're listening to The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
Hey, guys.
Greg, go ahead, buddy. How you doing?
Doing all right. Like the show.
Thank you.
I don't think anything you're saying is wrong. It probably is too late, but I think I don't want to be hypocritical about it because I don't remember hearing anybody calling for it while he was still alive.
Right,
including
100%.
Including all the people with national radio shows. Nobody was calling for it. We all sort of dropped the ball, but that also segues into another question. Who else is a current living legend that we can go ahead and start beating the door now for somebody to do this?
Well, I would ask yourself, and God forbid, but what do you do when Michael Jordan passes? I don't know.
Stop it. Come on.
No,
I'm too early.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying of that ilk and what he meant to basketball is what I'm saying. That's all. Obviously, he's a young man.
Perfect example.
No,
Wayne Gretzky.
Right. And the NHL, Wayne Gretzky's another one. What do you do if you're the NHL?
You know what I think is going to happen,
Yeah.
Rob, with Jordan? I think they'll change the logo.
I think they should change the logo now.
Oh, stop
I really
it.
do. No,
Come
I'm
on.
dead serious. I would change that logo right now. And
Love
put
me some
the
Jerry
Jumpman.
West.
No. Jerry West was only put on that logo. I saw a story by a guy who just said the only reason they did it was because Jerry West was a left-handed dribbler, like when they made the logo, because he dribbled with his left hand. All right, 877-99 on Fox.
All right, we have Mark from Sacramento. Mark, good afternoon or good evening there. You're on The Odd Couple on Fox Sports Radio. Talk to us.
What's up?
Hey, what's up, Rob? You know I was going to call you on this.
Yes.
First of all, really quickly on the logo thing, there could be a couple because, in my opinion, from my era, I would love to see a logo be a silhouette of Bill Russell guarding Wilt Chamberlain. That silhouette. That's to me. But, you know, just saying. But really quickly, I don't think it's ever too late as long as it gets done. 10 years from now, we won't remember how. We'll just look up there and go, it's retired everywhere we look. I'm looking beyond it.
Okay, I got that, but here's my only point.
Okay. Go ahead, Rob.
Is that no one, and the caller just said it, and it's true, brought this up for he's been alive for 88 years. It was never brought up. The first time I saw it was when Magic tweeted it about 2 weeks ago. I'm dead serious.
I brought it up on your show about a year ago. I said we ought to honor him because he's the roots of this league and his numbers should be retired. I said it to you guys about a year ago. So I did bring it up, but I was, I'm not those guys. But I agree with you.
But you know what I'm saying? Only because baseball did it for Jackie Robinson 25 years ago.
I agree. You're right on the money there, Rob. Right on the money.
Right. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Rob, you know what also upsets me a little bit? I think that Mark just talked about it from that era. A guy that totally just seems to not exist in the NBA legends anymore, who, unless you saw this guy play, it is amazing to me that no one gives Oscar Robertson the due that he deserves. That dude was unbelievably talented.
No, of course, the Big O. We've had him on The Odd Couple. And until Westbrook got that started with the 4 straight triple-doubles, it was about the Big O and what he did. I mean, he was an incredible player, no doubt about it. Played in Cincinnati for the Royals and then wound up going and winning a championship in Milwaukee with Lou Alcindor, right?
Yes.
In Milwaukee.
Great mid-range game, could post you up, was tough as nails. Unbelievable talent.
Amazing. Yeah, I think when you look at this and I hope as we go forward that leagues or teams, because Michael Jordan's numbers retired by Pat Riley and the Miami Heat, which is the weirdest thing. Only one team. When Jordan retired, Pat Riley retired 23. Have you ever seen it up in the rafters down in Miami?
No, I have not.
Yes. So he did it. Nobody else in the league followed suit, which I get at that time. It was weird. Jackie Robinson was a different animal, obviously, what he went through. Bill Russell's. No one's saying that Bill Russell doesn't deserve such an honor. I just don't know how, you let a guy get 88 and then he dies. Sometimes you might have said, yeah, we wanted to do it. We wanted to wait when he was a little older. You know what I mean? Alan,
Yeah.
It could have been like, he's in his 60-something or he was retiring.
And I think you only need to look at the reaction that he received when he was around other players,
Yes.
even to this day, that, wow, there's something special about this guy. Everybody seems to look up to this guy and respect this guy. When you get that sort of indication from the rank and file right now, you should say, man, this guy is very important.
No doubt about it. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk with Michael Lombardi, of course, the former NFL GM. There's some NFL stories here we definitely want to dive into. We'll do that next. But first, let's get you caught up. Monty Bolaños has the update. That's 5.
Yeah.
I'm on 5 in a row.
That's it. You have won me over. You're right.
I'm done.
That's
Come
it. You have
on.
proven yourself, Rob Parker. You are so right. I agree with you. Why didn't we retire his number earlier?
Yes.
Especially because you're not retiring him just because of what he did on the basketball court. You're retiring him for the person that he was outside of the court. So
And
to
he was
wait,
right, and he was around all the time.
Right.
And Alan just said it. All the younger players just
right.
you know,
he was still an inspiration to the young crowd.
Yes.
He would show up. People, I'm with you. It's not that I'm upset about it. Yeah, I'm just wondering why it took so long. John Ramos earlier today, he mentioned on the Doug Gottlieb show, he's like, I wonder if they asked him and maybe he didn't want that while he didn't want that attention. I wonder if it was ever brought up to him. And maybe.
The only thing is we never heard anything from anybody.
Never.
I'm telling you.
I agree. Yes.
Until Magic tweeted it 2 weeks ago when he died. That's the first time
Totally.
I had ever seen it.
Right, which is shocking because he's won the most out of everybody. So it's weird that it was never a conversation before.